And welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk all things about professional wrestling from AEW, WWE, NXT, TNA, Ring of Honor, Stardom, New Japan Professional Wrestling, AEW. We try to crunch it all into 5 segments. It's hard within an hour show. I always kind of run overtime a little bit here. So let's do this. We have our wrestling news Wednesday. But before we get started, I have another chat from Anna Arriaga, 2588. You have your kid and your family. Be safe from the dog. Thank you so much. I appreciate your consideration. Appreciate your the worries and stuff like that. Definitely hope everybody out there, definitely hope everyone's family is safe this weekend. Definitely hope no one gets hurt. Come back and watch the GSMC podcast on Monday. Make sure you guys are, happy, safe, from the little ones, kind of behind bars or paying an expensive firework ticket. I was driving on the other side of the road the other day and I was like, I saw this sign. I was like, you light it, we will ride it. I was like, what does that even mean? And it was like $5,000 fine. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, no, it was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy, kind of rocked my world a little bit. But I was like, no, I don't really, no one really has that much, money to kind of, spare in terms of, writing a ticket and stuff like that. So let's go in and end this day before the 4th of July with our wrestling news, with our Wednesday wrestling news. So let's do it. So, guys, you guys do not have to worry. Although Ricochet's future within the WWE kind of seems a little askew, kind of seems a little unpredictable, you don't have to worry. One of the best wrestling announcers on Monday Night Raw will stay with WWE. Samantha Irvin is expected to stay with WWE despite Ricochet's contract expiring, which is cool. Honestly, I feel like Samantha Irvin, she kind of brings, wrestling to life. You can sense the emotion within her voice. Reminds me of, like Lillian Garcia. So, I'm glad to see she's going to stay with WWE. Please convince your boyfriend, your fiance, husband, whatever you like to call him. Please have him stay with WWE. Me, from a WWE fan, I'm like, dude, like, yeah. But me as an AEW fan as well, I'm like, dude, honestly, it would be pretty awesome. It would be pretty awesome to see Ricochet go out there. He has a lot of success within the New Japan Professional Wrestling, the independent circuits. Obviously, you have his boy Will Ospreay on AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. They would make magic together. They would really make magic together. WWE has kind of did Ricochet wrong, in my opinion. I feel like they didn't really utilize him to the full extent that he, should have been deserved as. I felt like ultimately they kind of created that WWE speed option live exclusively on WWE Twitter/X, which I don't really like. I don't really like the WWE Speed Championship. Think it's kind of dumb, but it was kind of that belt was made for Ricochet. I feel like if Ricochet's contract wasn't really, it wasn't really up in the air, they would have he would be a two-time, no, not two-time. He would have defended his title successfully. You wouldn't have Andrade, you wouldn't have Tommaso Ciampa fighting for it. So, kind of cool that Samantha Irvin's going to stay with WWE. Kind of crazy. And I got another comment from Anna Origa, 22588. Heard it, fireworks, super loud, GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. And make sure you join and also, tag, like, subscribe to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, also the GSMC Sports Network. We have a lot of cool podcasts here on the show. Anna, hope you're having an amazing night. God bless you. Hope you have a safe weekend. Hope you, hope we have a lot of fun. Safe fun. Yeah. Our next news segment we're gonna talk about how TNA's locker room has been reported to be very, very well. And I guess this comes to a surprise. I know a lot of people will be like, dude, what do you mean it means very, very well? No, it's because, dude, like, if you're a wrestling promotion like TNA, much like you're an independent wrestling, like the NWA, where you kind of wrestle in front of maybe 2,000 people tops, you start to kind of like second guess your own capabilities. But I'm not trying to say that And I know a lot of people are like, Eric, what are you talking about? I'm not that insecure, but some people are. Some people are. Some wrestlers go out there, they travel with TNA. Like I mentioned before, TNA wrestlers don't get paid like WWE or AEW. Some of these guys still hold a part-time job. And it's crazy. It's 1,010% crazy. But TNA, ever since they kind of meshed with the WWE, I honestly feel like since WWE NXT will start to kind of be its own entity, since it would actually start to go out on the road and not, be performed and not be aired at the Orlando Performance Center, every Wednesday night, you kind of need something big like this. I don't know if they're going to include the NWA. I don't know if the National Wrestling Alliance will come to WWE NXT. Ultimately, I think TNA and WWE kind of have something special here. I think ultimately that's, where um, the No Quarter Catch crew will find success. That's where Izzy Dame will find success. Maybe Tatum Paxley, also Brooks Jensen will kind of gather up a team on TNA to fight against WWE NXT, maybe for Battleground or something like that. I feel like that'd be pretty badass. Also you can have the Hardys come back. This cross-promotional collaborations just continue. Wesley, the longest reigning WWE NXT North American champion, could be reunited with his former friends, the Rascals, on TNA Impact. Just a lot of possibilities, a lot of kind of presumptuous natures and stuff like that. Would love to see that. WWE is open for more and more TNA NXT crossovers, which is pretty badass, pretty awesome. Once again, kind of reiterating on that. At this point, if you have WWE NXT kind of being on its own, kind of going out there and kind of being its own entity, going out there trying to sell out shows, I feel like both of these collaborations, both of these companies could ultimately work together to, kind of benefit each other, kind of be something that because people do buy out TNA. People do participate in their, obviously you have Access TV, TNA, on demand and stuff like that. And then you have, WWE NXT going to the CW, which is the home, at the CW app, you can see the National Wrestling Alliance. So, definitely a lot of good stuff heading for NXT, heading for TNA, and maybe the NWA. Maybe. All right, moving on. So on WWE SmackDown, you saw Logan Paul introduce the Knicks killer, Tyrese Halliburton, the person who actually gets success within Madison Square Garden. Ooh, that kind of hurts you as a Knicks fan. That kind of hurts you as a Knicks fan. But then later on in the match, once when Tyrese Halliburton was trying to give the brass knucks to Logan Paul to secure his match, to secure his qualifications within the WWE Men's Money in the Bank match happening on Saturday in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Somebody came out. Somebody came out and saved the day. You had the New York Knicks All-Star MVP Jalen Brunson come out, had a steel chair in hand, was about to kick the heck out of Tyrese Halliburton. But overall, you have WWE putting out a statement the next day saying that we are open for more collaborations between WWE and the NBA. You've seen hosts from the NBA like Joel Embiid. He's a huge WWE fan. Also LeBron James. And it's just kind of crazy because the NBA has recently found a new home within Warner Brothers Discovery, which is currently kind of growing up. They have offers on the table to All Elite Wrestling to kind of, ultimately broadcast their matches and stuff like that. Even Tony Khan said that even Shaquille O'Neal, he teamed up with somebody. I think it was Saraya. Don't quote me on that. And they defeated Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes. Tony Khan ultimately said Shaquille O'Neal does have a home here on AEW, Turner Television. This, this could get juicy. This whole thing could get juicy because, kind of hate to say it, but Warner Brothers Discovery before WWE kind of signed the contract with Netflix and NBC Universal, which is, kind of, collaborated with the NBA. It's I don't want to say it, but they wanted the WWE too. I don't know what AEW is waiting for. I don't know what they are waiting for in terms of contract negotiations. If you're gonna have your pay-per-views broadcasted on HBO on demand, a streaming service where you don't have to necessarily pay $50 a month, on your pay-per-views on Bleacher Report or YouTube. So I don't know what AEW is waiting for to pull the trigger, but kind of juicy, kind of juicy. All right, so Donovan Dijak and Matt Camp has been spotted backstage at AEW Forbidden Door. Dijak had a notable run in WWE NXT last year, was drafted to the WWE Monday Night Raw main roster. His debut never really happened. Kind of crazy. This whole thing is kind of up in the air. You're kind of like, dude, what the hell happened with this guy? This guy, put on the Monday Night Raw hat and stuff like that. Oh, I'm wearing red because I knew I was going to get drafted to Monday Night Raw. Like, what happened? Like that, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But then overall, I feel like ever since TKO kind of took over with WWE contract signings and extensions like that has been kind of different. So, perhaps that could have been, something. But I like seeing Dijak on the, WWE NXT. Next, we have Liv Morgan throughout the first pitch at Fenway Park at a Red Sox game that happened on June 30th, 2024. But she didn't do it just gracefully. She didn't do it just gracefully. She did throw shade at the former WWE World Heavyweight Champion Rhea Ripley, saying that I get a better arm than Rhea. Like, dude, that's damn all that. Oh, just the nerve of Liv Morgan flirting with your man, Dirty Dom, taking away the Judgment Day, taking away your title. When Rhea Ripley comes back, I feel bad for Liv Morgan. WWE champ Liv Morgan throws out first Red Sox pitch of the game. So, it's kind of crazy. Good for her though. Good for her though. And lastly, have Gia Miller signing an extension, a 3-year extension with TNA. She said, and I quote, my desire is to stay with TNA. I want to stay with TNA as long as it would have me. That's awesome. I feel like that's pretty awesome. That's more like I felt like WWE signings were probably about a decade ago. Obviously, the kind of, you cannot obviously give all these wrestlers just money, 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 money over and over again. Kind of like what I feel like AEW is kind of doing when they signed Okada, Mercedes Moné, also Will Ospreay, and Jack Perry. But Gia Miller, she's part of it. She's going to be, she's been a huge part of the announcing crew in TNA for the longest time within years. So, definitely throwing flowers at her. Happy that she's able to stay home. Happy that she's able to call herself a TNA superstar. All right, guys, that was my show. Hope you guys liked it. A lot of stuff happening in professional wrestling. It's kind of hard to kind of compartmentalize it into a hour show, but I try my best. I try my best. So thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that, like and subscribe button, follow the show, also the GSMC Sports Network, and leave a positive review here at the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, and always, always, always remember you can catch your boy E. Rodriguez here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, talking all things wrestling, behind the curtain action, rumors, storylines, all the action inside and outside of the ring. And also, we invite you guys to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. And like I always say, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, I urge you guys to watch other, podcasts on the GSMC Sports Network. We have basketball with Nelson. We have college football with my man. I wanted to call him Joey. Why did I want to call him Joey? Like, that's so crazy. But, moving on. We also have, Samantha with the Women's Hoops and Heels Sports Podcast, your one-stop shop for women's sports. We have Sam with baseball. We have Kenny. We also have my man, Manny, with football podcast. We have just sports, and more sports. And it's absolutely 110% free. So make sure you check out those podcasts on the GSMC Sports Network. Tommy was his name. Okay, damn it. I don't know why it was Joey. He kind of looks like a Joey. But yeah. Anyways, guys, hope you guys have an amazing 4th of July. Be safe out there. And I will see you tomorrow. So, hey, stay beautiful.